if I was to ask a question, I'm a question asker. I don't even know what question I would ask. I would be like,
I love the question
yeah, I would be like, what was that?
Yeah.
What did y'all practice? Like,
Yeah.
why did y'all think that was going to work? I guess would maybe be my question. But it was
I
bad.
like it. Well, look, Justin Gordon is also with you. And shout out to your other super chat as well. He says, how does Arthur Smith fix the anemic offense? So there you go. Y'all both are kind of in that same vein with the questions. I look at it, I say this, man. A couple of things is this. O-line have to be better up front. No, it doesn't matter what quarterback we put out there. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do from a philosophical standpoint or even a strategy standpoint if you can't win up front. And what I mean is when we're trying to run the ball, it can't be that you're running to the brick wall. We know that part of that is the talent. The other part is the quarterback play, but they both go hand in hand. So every week you're making yourself one-dimensional just off of that. Now, when we get into the inconsistency of the quarterback situation, the past, we know how many years this has been going on, but specifically last year, we had two separate offenses, right? You have the Justin Fields approach the first 6 weeks, and then you have the Russ approach the remainder of the season. But more importantly, it just didn't look like they ever fully were able to lock in with one and build that whole thing out. Right. We talk about the training camp situation. Russ gets hurt the first day. He doesn't do any training camp. He played, was that 2 series of a preseason game where he was hurt even in that? And other than that, you don't see him for 6 weeks. So it's like, you're shifting your offense one way, and then you feel comfortable with Justin Fields, and we want to lean into that, but then you shift it back. And now you're trying to figure out yourself internally while trying to figure out who you're playing against in season. And that's just a recipe for disaster. As you can see, you're more so going to be treading water versus gaining ground and actually like improving. And we kind of saw that as well, where it was like, all right, offensively, hey, man, we finally get to that Bengals game. And then it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Because you're still trying to figure things out. But as the road gets narrow in the late end of the season, where so much information out there on teams, you trying to figure out what your identity is. You're trying to figure out, are we this first or that first? Yeah, you're not going to be able to have sustained success at this level. So to me, I say, man, a couple of these in terms of how Arthur Smith and more importantly, how this offense will look better this year. O-line. If the O-line can at least do the bare minimum of giving Rodgers time. Him above the neck, him in his worst season will have us still in that 11 win. And I already know how you predicted the season. I mean, shoot, listen to you, man. You got us coming out hot. All right. Hot. Shout out to you. Okay. Hot. But when I look at Rodgers, I say, man, he needs time because he is not the Rodgers from 10 years ago or even 5 years ago where he's ultra mobile, but he is still good enough if given time. Next thing I say is this. Lean on the Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren, but also now that you got a guy that you're going to have all training camp with, Lord willing, no injuries. But now that you got a guy that you're going to have all training camp with, to build a relationship with, to build that trust with, to understand and get on the same page mentally, now you can trust Rodgers to say, man, check this play at the line. And if DK has a matchup, man, check it and let him actually throw that. Let him actually do that, because those were the reports that also came out following that Bengals game that do have some validity to them, where there was a little bit of handcuffing going on with what the quarterback was allowed to do in terms of checking plays. When you're taking that out of a Russell Wilson, you're taking away a certain part of what makes him him. And the same can be said for Rodgers. If you're taking Rodgers and saying you're not allowed to check at the line, you're basically saying, I don't need your mind anymore. I don't need your veteran experience anymore. What I'm calling is going to be perfect every single time. And unfortunately, that's not the case right now. I think that you do got to allow Aaron Rodgers to trust his eyes. You do got to allow Aaron Rodgers, when he comes to the line of scrimmage and he says, man, that safety is not going to stay there. I'm going to call this call right here. He has to be able to do that and not feel like, man, it's going to be an argument or it's going to be some type of, man, they're viewing me differently, or the coordinators viewing me differently because he didn't call this. We got to remove that ego, that pride part out of it. And I think if those things can happen the right way, I think this offense will be a lot better, especially early in these games on first downs. And that would also help this defense out way more.
Correct.
Because that stat that we brought up about how quickly they're, not getting first downs, or they're not scoring points, or their average play per, their average yards per play in those first quarters, in those first couple of series, that means your defense is playing a lot more snaps early on. That means your defense is having to burn a little bit more extra. And now when the offense would finally get it going, right, when we would get enamored with the Kenny Pickett late game heroes, right? Or the, hey man, it's gonna be a late game drive. It's like, man, well, what about all these extra plays that this defense has had to play every single week?
Yeah.
And that adds up.
That's
the thing that it works both ways. So when I look at this offense, I say, man, those are the things that I think will help them. And those are things we have to lean on for them to not repeat what we've seen this past year or in years past. But more importantly, I think it'll also have an added impact on the defense as well. But it's still funny, man. As bad as the offense was last year, still was better than what we saw with Matt Canada. And that was the other part. It's like, man, we can say how we went analytically about the hyper focused on first quarter or first possession. But man, we never saw offense score the amount of points we saw score with, Arthur Smith. Never did.
Yeah.
Heck,
and that, but hey,
so yeah,
that's why I call us elite average.
Yeah,
that's why I call us elite average, right? Yeah, it's like, it's like we're improving to the elite part of the average part. Now we need to improve.
They're right on the edge of it.
Team.
Come on, man.
Right.
You see it, right?
Like, right there. It's like we need one thing to be a good team. It's like,
because I'm looking at it, I'm like, we look at this like, it's not a world beater. This isn't great, but we're like, you mean to tell me you want to go back to Matt Canada?
No.
Oh,
has anybody said that?
Well, I started to spin the block with my man Justin Gordon. I'm like, you're bringing up a lot of these Arthur Smith not better than Matt Canada in this situation. Are you saying that you preferred that approach?
He didn't mean it.
He ain't mean it. I know he won't mean it, but I'm just saying it's like when we bring it up, because it's like, all right, we're just gonna focus on that one portion of it. And if that's all we're focused on, we don't care about what happens after that. It's like, are we saying that is what we would want? Because to me, I'm like, I think that both things can be true. Could Matt Canada have been better in that portion? Sure. And we would all agree that still wasn't good, even in that space. But can't act like the offense was absolutely just atrocious all season. I'm not going there either. It's like, we had moments. It's not what we're on the edge of the Killer B era. When this is the next era following Killer B, when you're scoring 30 routinely, this is what it's always going to feel like. When you hear us talk about how does this team win 10 games annually, but we're not scoring more than 24 points, how does that work? This defense isn't great, but it's great at the same time. How does that work? It's like, there you go. All right.
Yeah. Elite average.
Elite average.
Elite average. There's no other way to describe it. That we do average better than anyone. Like the level of average we are able to turn out year after year after year. It is remarkable. Like it is remarkable. That's why nobody ever knows where to put us. They're just kind of like,
and it doesn't
make
win the sense when you look at the rosters. When you look at our rosters these past couple of years, and then you look at how the season ends, it's like, it doesn't even match. It doesn't match. Where you're like, how did you get that out of this? And then when you talk about the storyline of how many quarterbacks did y'all use? How many this did y'all use? You said Najee never had a run over 30 yards. You said this, but Chad, what? And he still got to 1,000, and then they still had that. And then GP, we didn't have 1,000, but he was like, it's like, and y'all won how many games? How did y'all do that? How?
And that's why it's hard though for us fans to not have high expectations all the time, because we're like, we think we got better. So if we think we got better and we did that, like, why would we not be better? And then the year ends and we're like, maybe we're still not good.
Yep. And that's why I'm looking at this right now. And I'm like, we have a lot of new pieces. But even with these new pieces, it's like historically they've been massive names. But at this stage, we would all agree they're not. This isn't the Rodgers when he was back-to-back MVP. This isn't the Jalen Ramsey when he was winning the Super Bowl, right? This isn't Darius Slay when he was in Detroit and he was like Mr. Lock You Down, Mr. Man-to-Man. Like, these are older players, but we're still hopeful that we can get enough of the vets with enough improvement from these younger dudes, right? The JPJs of the world, the Calvins and Romans of the world. We're hopeful that, all right, we can get that blend, but that's the name of the game right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we all got that feeling of, all right, are we nice or are we trash? Because I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like I will feel like we should be nice, but we feel like we might be trash. I don't know.
The one thing we all agree on, and anybody that watches football will probably agree with this, is it's going to start with that offensive line. Yeah. If that offensive line doesn't get better, we're in trouble because we have an older quarterback who is not nearly as mobile as anything that we had last year. Yeah. So, and I think that's the thing. And like you said, we just have to get first downs. We just have to stay on the field another drive. We just have to, it's like, it's that one little thing is going to help our defense. Like just give me sustain it, please. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care.
Because honestly, it's a difference, like in terms of sustaining drives versus like, hey, don't turn the ball over, don't kill us. Like you'll hear Coach Thomas say, don't kill us, meaning basically we're gonna run your 3 plays on offense. If you get a first down, great, but just don't turn the ball over. We're gonna lean on defense. That's a way different mindset than, man, we're trying to control the clock. We're trying to sustain this drive. We're just trying to march. We're not trying to like quick strike you, but we want to get the 10 to 12, 13 play drive. To me, those are 2 different mindsets. I think we're trying to sustain a drive mindset is just as impactful. It can really get you where you want to be. And like I said, arrest your defense versus this mindset of, hey, defense, we're gonna lean on you the whole time. You know what this is. Off just, hey, if y'all get something, great, but if not, great. It's like, no. That can't be the case no more, man. We can't. And you hear him talk like that. They didn't kill us. They didn't kill us. Don't kill us this week. Just don't kill us. They ain't turn on. It's like, no. We need more out of it. And that's what we're hopeful of with Aaron Rodgers. So we gonna see, man.
Yeah. Take a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
Take a little bit. But like I've said from the beginning, as soon as the offseason started, I said, get more talent and we got to evolve. And I think we've gotten talent and now I need to see us evolve. I'm not going to bring up managing the clock, Steelers fans. I understand. I'm not going to bring it up. I will let it be. But we also have to
challenge. Are we throwing the challenge flag this year? Or do we just we put clock management from you, and I'm gonna take that challenge flag. We set that over there till next time. Yeah.
I think I made a video and I was like, hire me, please, just to be on the sideline and call the timeout. I will call them. Time out.
Yeah.
Doing?
My man said, that's how I'm gonna roll over the next week, bro. I gotta save this, man. Just chill. I'm gonna take it next week with me. No, it don't work like that. Just wait. Just trust me, it does. No, it don't. It don't. I promise it don't, Coach.
I'm so tired of seeing us going into halftime with the 3 bubbles still highlighted. I'm like,
they look pretty though. They look pretty. They look really nice. They be all color coordinated. Just pop up on the screen. I'm like, yo, y'all did a great job, Fox, ESPN. Y'all did a great job. Whoever it was, like, yeah, but we don't like to use them. I don't know why.
No, we don't like timeout. Who needs a timeout? Why do we need a timeout? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we just keep going, man. All gas, no brakes. You know the deal. Yeah.
Oh my God. But I love them.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
But Dad, I love him. He's so great.
Like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be perfect. I promise it's gonna work out. Like, no, just flaw right here. All right. This might be a flaw. This could be an issue down the line. Just throwing it out there. All right.
Yeah. Just remember that red flag. That's what I always say. Like, remember that. Like, remember that that's a thing.